Welcome back to VHS Tacos, everybody. You know, when you say the word dependable actor, Denzel Washington is one of, if not the very first individual that pops into my head. He's a fantastic actor. He always gives 120%. Whenever I watch one of his movies, I don't see Denzel Washington as. I just see the character that they're portraying. And that's good. He's a chameleon. He's able to slip into those characters and just fully embody them with different mannerisms, different tics, different things that they do that really help make a person an actual person. So, in the sense of the Equalizer, that's actually great because not only do we have that consistency across 3 movies with the actor, but then we also have a very consistent sense of style as well, and that level of trust between director and actor with Antoine Fuqua, who is back for the 3rd installment, which, again, is great. And this time around, we're swapping out the cities, the diners, the lifts, the lighthouse, the storms, and now we're in Italy. We do hit the ground running, but not at the sake of character development, because we have character development right out of the gate as well. You know, we think we're sitting here watching a suave, badass Denzel Washington do his thing, but minor spoiler alert, things don't exactly go his way, and they take a turn for the worse. It's a very interesting twist. Didn't really see that one coming, and I do appreciate that, because a lot of times with these kinds of movies, you find that the old action hero, is a very expendable style hero. You know, they're unstoppable, they're unbeatable. But here, no, we are exploring the Robert McCall looking for peace. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Denzel Washington is extremely dependable. And here, again, he's no slouch. We have mannerisms that Robert McCall carries over from the first movie and the second movie. But then things kind of get upended a little bit, and you have to see to believe just how great it is that he's trying to react to things not always going his way or things being different than what he's used to. It's a great character progression, seeing him kind of shed that away and try something new for once. It's really quite something to watch, because I mean that's not something that you expect with this kind of movie. Again, you're expecting some wham bam action, some people getting absolutely messed up with some slow-mo sick shots, and some people getting blasted in different ways and body parts snapping. Now, don't get me wrong, we do get that. Absolutely, it's no slouch in that department, but that's not the focus though. This is really truly a character-centric pick that is surrounded by the violence, but it makes sense though, because it's all closing in on him. Now the rest of the supporting cast, they do hold their own. They do a pretty solid job. Some of them can be a little bit of cliche. Some of them are there for window dressing, but the big standout really, of course, is Denzel Washington, but our primary antagonist as well. I'm not going to go into a lot of spoilers and a lot of detail about that, but this is a bad guy to be feared. I didn't really get that sense that it was a bad guy to be feared in the Equalizer 2 with Pedro Pascal's character, but I really got that sense in the first one with our evil Russian mafia guy, that he was someone to be feared, someone to be reckoned with. And then, of course, the trailer did tease it, although I kind of wish it would have kept her a little hush-hush, because it is fun to kind of watch her character progression, because she's in the movie a heck of a lot more than I thought she would be. Dakota Fanning in a nice little man-on-fire reunion between Denzel and Dakota. Now, she's in it quite a bit. She plays a CIA analyst of sorts in the financial sector of it. But watching her story unfold and then lead to that grand finale for her, huge payoff. Not just a huge payoff for her, but a huge payoff for her and Denzel Washington, which I really, truly appreciate. And it's interesting because at the beginning, minor spoiler alert, they kind of start to lean her towards a government stooge cliche. They're kind of getting there a little bit more and more. But then as we're getting into the thick of it, and she starts to realize that maybe this is a little too much than what I anticipated, they do pivot away from that. And I appreciate that. We don't end with a cliche of sorts pertaining to her character that we're used to in a situation like this, where the government or the police officer, whoever it is, official, they're like, oh, you're a vigilante, you gotta be stopped. And then all of a sudden they see the holy light at the end of the tunnel when they realize that the vigilante was helping them this whole time. No, we don't get any of that. Now, I know I've been hyping up the character stuff a lot, and you're probably sitting there watching this going, Mr. Taco, come on, get to the nitty gritty of this, man. I'm here to watch Denzel wreck fools for an hour 50. Now, don't worry, okay? He does, in fact, wreck some fools. However, keep your expectations tempered. This is not as action-packed as the first or the second movie. This is a very toned down in terms of the amount of violence. Now, don't get me wrong, it's toned down in the amount of violence, but it is not toned down in the type of violence. There is some extreme stuff that happens in this movie. It is not for the faint of heart. If you are squeamish, I highly recommend you look away. But again, it's a natural progression of things because, minor spoiler alert, this is a Robert McCall who is just tired of the constant BS that he's trying to get, especially when he's at a point in his life where he's trying to find peace, but then he's realizing where he goes, destruction follows. So he says, all right, you know what? Fine. You want destruction, I'm going to destroy your whole life. Now, I've been hyping up the characters and the stories and the acting and the action. None of that would be possible if it weren't for our returning director and multiple Denzel collaborator, Antoine Fuqua. The man's got a sense of style. Okay, he's got a sense of style which is refreshing, which is nice, because he mixes old school with new school. There are parts of this movie that feel like they are an old school style thriller, ripped almost probably straight out of the 70s. But he also brings a very modern, very new age, for lack of a better term, edge to it, and a nice stylistic eye to it. So we get some great angles, we get some great shots, we get some great plays with lighting that go on here. I mean, it really is a great movie visually to watch in terms from like a technical standpoint. By the time the credits rolled after that one final satisfying payoff, I couldn't help but feel fully satisfied myself. This isn't just the first time that Denzel has done a second sequel, but the first time that he's done a trilogy, that he's carried a character on for more than just a movie, more than a one-off, and he did such a great job with it. Same with Antoine Fuqua. He never compromised his style one bit. The Equalizer 3 is a highly satisfying ending, and it also stands alone on its own 2 feet in a very satisfying way as well. I 100% fully recommend this. Now, I did catch my screening tonight in IMAX. There's no expanded aspect ratio. There's nothing crazy going on with that. But the pulpy punchiness of the sound, and I will admit, especially if you pick the right seat in the stadium, there's just something so gorgeous about just the visuals and the scenery of Italy. It's stunning, and it looks fantastic. It looks great. And so that alone was worth the IMAX ticket. If you guys had a chance to check out The Equalizer 3, let me know down in the comments below. If you are as big of a Denzel Washington fan as I am, of course, let me know that too. Or if you're one of the ones that sat there and watched the trailer and said, oh, this is nothing but a generic action movie. We got to stop these old people from doing action movies. I don't want to see this. This looks stupid. Allow me, hopefully, to be one of the first, hopefully again, to inform you that you are wrong. And until next time, guys, this has been VHS Tacos signing off. Between you and me, don't tell Mrs. Taco, but I may or may not have already pre-ordered a steelbook. Shh. Adios.